Hey everybody, welcome back to Creating Scenery from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to talk an extra tool. Something that's open source, it's free, most of you probably heard of it, or one just like it, okay? And it's open source and free. Alright, so I've talked about in previous videos about using add-ons with Blender that gives you that CAD functionality. Okay, in my opinion, as much as I've worked with them, I'm not a big fan. Alright, I like, when I use CAD software, I like the functionality and everything about the CADs. Alright, so when I want CAD functionality, I'll go out and use CAD. All right, but let me tell you a little bit. Hey, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit the notification bell for upcoming videos. And if you feel inclined to support me, buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. Anyway, commercial over. Let me explain a couple differences about CAD. All right, you're going to have a 2D CAD that might do three-dimensional stuff. You'll have a CAD software that will allow you to put things in 2D and then extrude them, okay, such as AutoCAD, that kind of stuff. Most CAD software does that, all right? That's, if you think about 2D CAD, I think it's self-explanatory. But we want to bring this stuff into Blender, right? Well, there's also another CAD out there. And if you have CAD plugins, add-ons for Blender, you're actually kind of creating this world. It's called a parametric modeler, where you create a 2D sketch, and then once the sketch is done, you apply third dimension to it, okay? Those are called parametric modelers, all right? Blender with add-ons can be that. Even though it's clunky, it can be that. Examples of parametric modelers on the commercial market would be Autodesk's Inventor or SolidWorks, okay? Those are parametric modelers, all right? You may not want that much functionality just creating sketches, right? You just want a simple 2D type of CAD system that has all the different functionality of a CAD, where you can enter distances and bearings, you can extend and trim lines and all that kind of stuff. Do that stuff that's not fun in Blender to figure out, but you just want a 2D CAD system in order to do that. Then you want to take that drawing out of your CAD and import the DXF into Blender. All right, now we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you. It's called LibreCAD. All right, it's open source, free. Download it. It's free forever, and I think it's librecad.org. All right, download it. It's free. It's simple to use, and it really kind of helps in a lot of situations. All right, I'm going to show you an example of that. All right, we're going to bring a 2D drawing into Blender where you can work with it. Now, I need to tell you about some caveats. All right, so I'm going to come up here to File, and I've done some test profiling, but we're going to open up. Let's say test profile. And if I come in here, I have entered inches using the imperial system, inches, to make this drawing. So if I come over here and I do a measure point to point, and I go from click here and I click here, down in my dialog box I should have 48, because this is 48 inches across. All right, it's not metric. Okay, now knowing that, If you are Imperial, you have to convert all of this before you export it, or you have to convert it in Blender. All right, because anytime that you save a DXF in LibreCAD, and if you guys want me to, I'll have a playlist and I'll show you tutorials on LibreCAD. But if you want to use LibreCAD, when you save this, which saves as a DXF automatically, you don't have to export it. It always saves it as DXF. Whatever units, measurements that you're using in the CAD, they get interpolated in Blender as metric. So if you know, when I measured this, it said 48 inches. All right. If I bring this into Blender, it's going to think 48 meters. Okay. If you're in the metric world, you guys just work those metrics measurements just like you normally would, and when you bring those into Blender, they're going to be in metric. All right. Now, if you're doing millimeters, all right, you'll need to convert to millimeters in Blender. All right, you'll need to drop some zeros, add some zeros, whatever it takes to get it. But in Imperial workers, you need to convert that measurement, so when you bring it into Blender, it reads meters. All right, so I'll show you. So here is test profile is in inches. Okay, so let's open up Blender. And I'm going to select all, delete, and I'm going to come over here to File and go to Import. Notice that on at the bottom we have our AutoCAD DXF. If you do not see this, this is not in by default. You have to enable the DXF importer. So you'll need to go to Edit, Preferences, and type in DXF, and enable the DXF importer. All right, but let's assume that you already have it. So we're going to go to File, we're going to import a DXF, and I'm going to bring in my CAD Profile 1, just Profile. All right, I did some of this stuff ahead of the time, so I didn't have to slow you down. So I'm going to import that, and it brings in my 2D drawing of my profile of my object. All right, this is a 4x8 sheet of plywood that's going to have this profile cut into it. All right, now if I turn my snapping on, vertex, and I come up to the measure tool and I measure that length, notice how it says 48 meters. Even though it was in my CAD, it was 48 inches. Well, Blender thinks everything is metric. All right, so that 48 needs to be converted, because if I simply, for us Imperial people, if I just come over here to units and I do change that to Imperial, now I'm at 157 feet. Okay, that is not correct. All right, so let's go back to metric and let's convert this in Blender to meters. Simply, we're going to select everything, and we're going to scale, and we're going to multiply the scale by 0.0254, hit enter, and yeah, it made my thing made my drawing really small, right? Okay, but if I come back over here to measure, and I measure from here to here, now I have 1.2 meters, okay? And if I come back over here to my units and I change that to Imperial, now that's 48 inches or 4 feet, okay? So you might have to scale. If you're Imperial, you might have to scale your drawings once you get them into Blender. Or you can come back over to LibreCAD, and I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to open that Profile 2, because I already did the measure, I already did the conversion, okay? If I measure now from point to point, I get 1/732. Actually, that's 1.2 something 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 something. Okay, I did my metric conversion in LibreCAD and then saved it as a DXF. Okay, so now Blender's going to think that this is actually 1.2 meters right off the bat. I don't have to do my conversion in Blender. Either way, it doesn't matter. It works the same. So let's minimize here. Okay, and let's start a new drawing. Delete everything that's default. Let's go to File, Import. Make sure your extensions, your plugins enabled for DXF. Go to the CAD, and I'm going to do Profile 2 because that's the one I scaled in Libre. Okay, I multiplied that the original drawing by the same 254 and got the meters. Okay, we'll import that, and of course it places it over here because when I scaled it in Libre it wasn't at this point. Okay, but let's focus in on this. Now if I come over here to my measure tool, let's turn our snap vertex on. I come over to the measurement tool and I go from here to here. I get that 1.2 meters again. Okay, just like I did when I scaled it in Blender. But remember, I scaled it in Libre before I saved it and then brought it in, and I didn't have to convert in Blender. So there's two ways to scale, before or after. And then if I come over here to units and change my units to imperial, it should say 4 feet. Okay. All right. Now, LibreCAD is a great drawing environment. It really is. It's really, really simple. So you can do all your planimetric drawings in LibreCAD or any other free CAD system that has that functionality, and then just simply import the DXF into Blender, and all your technical drawing has already been done. Okay, so if I minimize this, go back into LibreCAD, let me show you some things about LibreCAD. Let's do a file new. Okay, and let's say I can come up here to options, and I have all of my measurements in inches. Okay, and you can use decibels. If you're imperial, this is a big deal. If you work in metric, this stuff doesn't matter to you. Okay, but you can do decibels and all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm going to leave that as decibels, and let's do some of this CAD functionality. I'm going to do a 2-point line. I'm going to start here. Of course, you guys can't see where I am, so I'm going to slide that over here. All right, so I'm going to click here, and let's say I want to make a 10-foot line straight to the right. Okay, all I have to simply, from the point I clicked, I hit the @ symbol, ampersand. No, that's not ampersand, the @ symbol. Okay, and I'm going to type in a measurement in my X direction. Let's say 120 inches, and I want it to go straight to the right, which is a less than symbol. And then I'm going to type in 0 for 0 degrees to the right. All right, so that went to the right 120 inches. Let's say it's going to go to a 45, from this point, it's going to go another 120 inches, 45 degrees this way. Okay, so to the right is 0, straight up is 90, to the left is 180, and straight south is 270. Okay, that's how this works. All right, so from this point, which is the @ symbol, I'm going to go 120 inches, and I'm going to go less than, now I'm going to enter my bearing, 135. And now I have a 45-degree angle going this way. based off of 90. Okay, so you can be more precise in your drawing. All right. Now, I'm going to show you some other little tools in LibreCAD in the future. I'll have a playlist just for LibreCAD, but if you guys want a good CAD environment to work with, and then just import that DXF into Blender to start doing your buildings and stuff like that, I really recommend LibreCAD. All right. Now, a free parametric modeler like AutoCAD Inventor or SolidWorks or Blender with add-ons, okay? There's another one called EasyCAD, and it's a parametric modeler, okay? Just like Inventor or SolidWorks. It's free, it's open source. So I hope that gives you some extra ideas for some tools to work with when you're doing your scenery. Remember, please subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. And I will start a playlist for LibreCAD for those people that want to learn how to use that. And eventually I'm going to do an a free CAD playlist for doing some parametric modeling and that stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll see you later.